This is being very vulnerable, and my thoughts were like, oh my God, there's people in here, I can't do it. And I felt so joyful and excited. Our minds like to think when we get to a certain point, we're gonna feel like, okay, I made it. Like, I'm here, I'm good, I'm happy. We don't find things magical anymore because we're so wrapped up in our minds. So I kind of touched on this next one a little bit before, but it's bringing myself back to the present. Anytime I start noticing my mind drifting between the past or the future. As soon as we start what-ifing about the future or whatever, daydreaming about the future, or when we start dwelling on the past, thinking about the past, that's our ego. Essentially, our ego is a dysfunctional relationship with the present moment. It doesn't like the present moment. It feels uncomfortable there. It likes to think that it has control. We only have control over what we're gonna choose right now. We think we can control the future, but none of us are sidekicks, or I don't know, maybe you are, but we can't control the future. We can control what we do right now in this moment. And guess what? The future, so let's say tomorrow, when it's tomorrow, it's gonna be right now. Highly suggest reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. That just completely was like, and I really try to live my life that way now of like, okay, I'm in the now. I'm here in the present moment. What happened in the past, I can't go back there. So there's no point in even thinking about it. Cool. Maybe sometimes you can reflect back and think of, you know, the lessons that you learned and how you can apply it to the present moment. But to like replay scenarios and things that happened in the past, that is so pointless because we are not time travelers and we cannot go back. So you're really just causing yourself suffering. And I say that to myself, like, why am I causing my own suffering by doing this right now? Okay, I'm in the present. Where am I right now? What choice can I make right now? The what ifing too, having anxiety or fear about the future or the things that could happen. Again, you're causing yourself suffering by doing that. Why are you choosing that for yourself? Don't you want to feel good? Don't you want to feel happy? So this is what I've said to myself, and I do say to myself all the time, as soon as I find myself like, oh, what if this, or oh, tomorrow I have to do this thing. It's like, okay, we don't need to do that right now. Right now, what can I do? All right, I can make a to-do list of the things I need to do so that I've, get it out of my head and it's on paper and I know I can just come back to this list when it actually is tomorrow, because it's not tomorrow right now. And just being present, using your senses to see and hear and feel the things around you is a really good way to do that. Talking to yourself too, coming back to your breath and your body helps you live just more peacefully and be more content. When you're in the present moment, there's no room for anxiety and dwelling on the past and all of that. So I think the next thing I want to talk about, one of the biggest things that really kind of shifted the way I view life and kind of got me out of a depressive state of seeing things very like negatively, is practicing radical acceptance. I did make a video about radical acceptance, so if you haven't watched it yet, please go check it out. Radical acceptance is pretty much just accepting things as they are. And our minds love to label things as good and as bad, and then we dwell on it or we stress about it, or unless you can take appropriate action. For example, just, oh, I hate my job. Okay, so you can choose to focus on how much you don't like your job every day and be miserable. And why would you choose to be miserable? I can either choose to just accept it and find the good in it and be grateful that I have a job, or we can say, okay, I am unhappy at this job, or this job isn't fitting for me, so I'm gonna quit or I'm gonna look for a different job. And you just take the action and just accept it. It is what it is. When I signed up for this one credit card, I got a buddy pass. I've been saving it for this last year because, I don't know, I just never really had an opportunity to use it. So I thought I had until March 23rd before it expired. It's the 21st today, so I was like, oh, I should probably like call and do something with this buddy pass. I sign on and it's gone. So I call and they're like, yeah, no, it expired yesterday. And in the moment, I felt a little frustrated with myself. My mind was like, you should have checked yesterday, or you should have checked before, and all these shoulds. Our minds love to do that too. Oh, I should have done this, should have done that. Okay, cool, that's in the past. We can't time travel and do that, so why are we even thinking that? Are we gonna just choose to keep dwelling on it and be miserable and let it ruin our day? Or are we just gonna say, okay, all right, it expired. You know what, that kind of sucks, but I'm moving on, moving forward. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. It happened. What can I learn from this? maybe I shouldn't procrastinate so much, and in the future I'm going to, be more on top of things and I'll leave it to the last minute. Cool, learned a lesson, moving on, gonna film this video and have a great day. You don't need to go on and on and on and dwell on it and call it bad and keep going to all your friends and family and talking about it over and over and over again. That's just staying stuck, that's staying resistive, that's staying unhappy. These next two things might seem a little bit obvious. I know a lot of people, I'm just gonna put my feet up for a sec. A lot of people talk about them more now, and that's journaling and gratitude. And I'm so excited that it's becoming more of a popular thing. There is something to be said about getting what's going on in your head out of your head and onto a piece of paper. It sounds silly and like it wouldn't work, but it truly, truly works. So whether you want to just brain dump and just write down everything that's going on in your head, it's like such a weight off your shoulders. When I started journaling, it was something that I really had to force myself to do. And now I love it. I crave it. I need to do it pretty much every single day. And sometimes I don't really have that much to write, so I'll just, write good things and just how I'm feeling that moment or whatever, good things that happen. Other times it's pages and pages. And not only does it get it out of your head, but it also allows you to kind of reflect on it a little bit too. You can see what you're writing and it gives you new insight into yourself and what's going on. I know I've had a lot of big light bulb or aha moments when I've kind of read back on what I've written. It just helps you see things more clearly and helps you better reflect on your thoughts, your beliefs, all of that. And then gratitude, oh my gosh. That's something I do even just in my head. I often write it in my journal, but I will also just do it in my head, while I'm driving. What are we grateful for right now? And it's I'm so grateful the sun's out today. I love the sun. Just the littlest things, but when you do that, it is rewiring your mind to block out all that negative, dark stuff that's trying to create chaos and noise in your mind. It blocks it out because you're too busy focusing on the good things that you have no time to listen to all that negative, dark stuff. It totally changes the filter that you see the world in, even if it's just for that few minutes. Get in a better mood. Sometimes it's hard and you have to think of really small things that might seem really insignificant, but even just doing that, it works. It's so cool and it takes 2 seconds. Again, same with meditating. You can really do it anywhere. You can do it in your car, you can do it sitting on the couch, you can do it in bed, you can do it at work, wherever. Just take a minute to, okay, I'm grateful that my body's not in any pain right now. I'm grateful that I'm breathing and I'm alive. So now a little bit more fun things, few more fun things I'm gonna mention is finding magic in the little things and the little moments. And that kind of goes with gratitude, I guess. They're kind of the same thing, but even just things like petting and snuggling my cat. I try to just really use my senses to enjoy the feel of his fur and listening to his purr and feeling the love that we have for each other. Or even just sitting outside and watching the clouds and thinking about how magical and cool clouds are. And just the littlest things, it brings out that inner child in us, but in a good way. When we're kids, we think every little thing is so magical, and as we grow up and into adulthood, we don't find things magical anymore because we're so wrapped up in our minds, and the way we've been conditioned to think is very negatively, or it's very much egoic, where it's okay, we gotta hustle, we gotta work, we gotta meet our goals, we gotta pay the bills, we gotta make money, we gotta, we don't make time for just sitting and enjoying the little things, finding magic in just the smallest moments. Still to this day, when my partner goes and holds my hand, I'll just take a moment to just soak in that moment and feel the connection of our hands intertwining, feel the energy going between us, the love that we share. That is what makes life so enjoyable, and that's what brings out true happiness and joy, is finding the magic in the littlest things. Taking that first bite of ice cream came to my mind, but taking time to be present and enjoy what you're doing right now. Looking at the stars is another one of my favorite ones. Again, I could go on forever about that because there's so many things that are magical. Honestly, everything is magical when you start to see it that way, choose to see it that way. That leads me to my next thing, which is making time for play. And I really started implementing this a lot more in my life recently, especially when you become an adult. It's like, Kate, gotta rise and grind. It's also serious, and it's all just the ego, right? If we make time for play, it allows us to be creative, to use our imagination. We have fun, and you feel so good. This is being very vulnerable, but even when I'm working out by myself in our basement and I have like a really good song come on, I'll just, I'll be feeling the beat and I'll start dancing and just have a little dance party with myself. And I get this rush of joy, and I just feel so good. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I've started crying. Like happy tears, when you're so happy and full of joy that you just can't help but cry because it feels so amazing. That's happened to me like mid-dance party, and it probably would look really funny if somebody was watching me, but it was the best feeling ever. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I haven't felt this way in so long. And there's nothing better, and we deserve that. We deserve to feel good. We deserve to have fun and make the time to play, whether it's playing a game, whether it's having a dance party. I really love gardening. I have these little like fairy houses and things. I feel like a little girl playing with my Barbies again and watching my plants grow. It's so exciting, and bringing out that inner child and helps you see the world in such a more positive, loving, and magical way. When you're feeling joyful, when you're feeling at peace, when you're not in your head, when you're shutting out the world, when you're in the zone and you lose track of time, that's you. That's love. That's the core of who you are, the essence of who you are. So that's why it feels so good. It's because we're meant to feel that way. We're not meant to be in our heads. We're not meant to be negative and judgy and unhappy and unfulfilled and discontent. Like, no, that is not the way we want to live life, or we're supposed to. And that's why it doesn't feel good. Think about that. I just want to share a little quick story. I was by myself at this hotel, and they had a really sick water slide. Like, it was one of those, you like take all these stairs to the top and it comes down. And as soon as I saw they had the water slide, my inner child was like, oh my God, that's such a cool water slide. And I have not been on a water slide since I was a little kid, because I don't know, unless you're like with your kids or with someone's kids, like we all have this weird thing our minds tell us, like, oh, we're an adult, we're too old to go on a water slide, or we're too old to play. I recognized I was having this thought, like, oh, you can't go on the water slide, you're by yourself and you're an adult, like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, I'm gonna go on that water slide. It looks fun, and I'm choosing to be me and not my thoughts and not what's going on in my head. So I walked into the pool. There was a family in there, and again, my thoughts were like, oh my God, there's people in here, I can't do it. And it's like, okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying, that's nice, but I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm gonna make time for play, and I'm gonna do what makes me feel happy. As I was going up the stairs to go up the water slide, I just like got this flashback of being a little kid, and you'd get that rush of excitement and you get all giddy, and I felt that, and I haven't felt that way in so long. I felt like little Kaylee again, and I felt so joyful and excited. And as I ripped down that water slide, I was like giggling. I couldn't help it but laugh because it was the funnest thing. And even when I came out, and the family, the adults especially, were like kind of giving me judging looks, I did not care. I was in the zone of having fun, and I felt euphoric. Despite what your mind tells you, make time to have fun. Don't you want to have those moments where you feel giddy and excited and happy? Go down a water slide. If you haven't been on a water slide since you were a kid, highly encourage it. I think we're almost done. I'll just briefly touch on a few things. One thing that's really helped me to learn how to be my best self and feel my best is by absorbing content that is loving, that is empowering, that is insightful, that is enlightening. And so whether that's listening to podcasts, reading books about personal development, and things that are just, empowering you to wake up a little bit more to your true self and learn, right? Whether you're watching videos, listening to things, reading things, and then kind of going along with that is being really mindful of the content that I'm absorbing. So choosing things that are going to help me feel my best and be my best, and limiting and kind of avoiding the things that encourage my ego. I used to love reality shows. I'm not gonna hate on any reality shows or any of those kind of shows, but think about what your thoughts are while you're watching those shows. Think about how you feel after. Are you feeling your best? Is your ego kind of chiming in with judgment and maybe not the most loving, nice things? I really started limiting what I was watching on TV, even the kind of movies I watched. I don't know, a lot of things out there I watch because I'm more in tune with my body. I just feel so gross, and I'm like, why am I watching this? Why am I entertained by this? This is weird. This does not feel right. This doesn't sit right with me, and I don't feel good. So why am I choosing to absorb this right now? Like, there's a reason my body's sending me a message. Even social media, I've unfollowed a lot of people, and I've stopped looking at a lot of content and watching even certain YouTube videos because I wasn't even aware of it for a long time. When I started noticing what I was thinking as I was watching or looking at their page, it was all either judging them or comparing to them. And I think so many of us, especially women, do this, and we're just not aware of it. And that's why we all get sucked into trends and what everybody else is looking like, what everybody else is wearing, what everybody else is buying. It's because that little voice in our head, our ego, is saying, I need that too. I want that. Why? I don't need or want that. It's just my ego saying that I do. And okay, cool, maybe I'll buy what they have and it's gonna make me feel special or whatever for a little bit, but is it really adding to my life? Is it really helping me be a happier, better person, or is it just something outside of myself? As I was saying earlier, I want to watch content that inspires and uplifts me, that helps me feel more in touch with my true authentic self. I want to feel empowered and motivated, or a connection with them. I want that. I don't want judgment. I don't want comparison. I don't want to always feel like I need more. I want to be content with what I have and be grateful with what I have. It's just something to try and be mindful of. So I'm not saying I never go on Instagram or I never watch that stuff. I just really limit it. I've been talking for an hour. My very last thing that I have made note of is falling in love with the process. I'm going to use my YouTube channel as an example. So my ego will say, oh, I've only created this many videos, I need to do more. Focusing on the numbers of how many likes you get. Ego loves that kind of stuff. I feel like that just leads to you're not gonna enjoy it as much. Just focusing on, again, that outside stuff. Our minds like to think when we get to a certain point, when we reach a certain goal or whatever, get a certain amount of likes or views or subscribers or whatever, that we're gonna feel like, okay, I made it, like I'm here, I'm good, I'm happy. No. You might feel that way for a very short time, but then it's gonna be like, okay, now what? What's next? I need more. Never feeling fulfilled. You never feel content. That's a really big characteristic of our mind. Falling in love with the process of what we're doing means that we're being present in it. Your happiness isn't the destination, it's the right now, what you're doing right now. I'm choosing right here, right now to enjoy and have fun filming this video. I'm not thinking about, the end result and how many views it's gonna get, how many likes it's gonna get. That doesn't matter to me. It matters to my ego. To me, I love doing this. I love connecting with you, putting out more loving energy into the world, and sharing the things that have really, really helped change my life, so that maybe something I've said is going to make a difference in your life and how you feel, and help bring out the true you and help you feel more love and joy in your life and feel good. Just feel good. feel peaceful, feel content, love yourself the way you are, love your life the way it is, or at least accept it. You might not love everything, but accept it. And like I said, you can take action, make changes, make choices where you need to, right here, right now. But falling in love with the process, having fun, making time for play, finding the magic in the little things, that's where joy is found. Joy is not found in the future and the end result. As always, please, please, please feel free to make a comment down below and share some things with me and the other people watching of what you've learned, the things that help you feel your best, most highest, authentic self, have changed your life and have made you a more joyful person, made you feel more in love with life, with yourself, with others, the world, with just living. And if you have any questions, please also feel free to comment them down below. I am very, very grateful for those of you that watch my videos, and if you are subscribed, thank you very much. If you want to like it, please feel free to like it too. I'm sending you lots and lots of love, and we will see you in the next video.